hi to the camera. Say hi. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a pregnancy update with you guys, another pregnancy video. I am so excited for this year. I have a lot of new videos planned along with new pregnancy videos planned, of course. So I am currently 23 weeks and 3 days now. I start a new week every Saturday. So this Saturday I will be 24 weeks, and I haven't done a first trimester update or anything like that. I figured I would wait until I was out of the first trimester and well into my second trimester before I sat down to actually make a video. I wanted to get through the anatomy scan and all of those really important things. The really important things. So now that I've had the anatomy scan and everything like that, I thought I would sit down and go through my experience with this pregnancy with you guys and tell you guys how everything has been going. And yeah. Okay, so I do have a lot of notes throughout this pregnancy that I've put in my notes on my phone. So I'm gonna be referencing my phone a lot, but I'm just gonna go down through my phone and just tell you guys how everything has been going. So around 4 weeks was the time that I found out that I was pregnant. I found out pretty early with both pregnancies. I don't really know when people find out. I feel like it's pretty average for people to find out around that time, maybe five weeks or so. But I didn't really have many symptoms going into taking the test other than feeling a tiny bit nauseous and feeling tired. I was tired all of the time, so I was definitely taking a lot of extra naps, and I found out that I was pregnant, and that all made sense. But other than that, I wasn't really having any other symptoms. Around 6 to 8 weeks, the nausea got really bad, enough to the point where I really wasn't trying to eat anything. So I was really just having to eat what I could, better than eating nothing. I was trying to eat super healthy, but because I was not feeling the greatest and feeling nauseous, anything was better than nothing. So around that time, I just had a lot of nausea and just I was completely turned away from food altogether. So that was a few hard weeks. And also around the 6 to 8 week mark, I was having stomach cramps, nothing terrible. Whenever I would normally get my period, I never had cramps, so having cramps while pregnant didn't seem too off for me, only because I never got them whenever I had my period, so it made sense when I was pregnant because it happened all the time with Gracie when I was pregnant with her. So I had some stomach cramps. And then at 8 weeks, I did go to the OB for the first time. They wanted to see me pretty early. I don't know the normal time for a first OB visit. It was early at 8 weeks, but they wanted to see me for an ultrasound and just check on the baby and make sure everything looked good and that she was healthy so far. Now, if you don't know, with my pregnancy with my daughter before, I was very high risk, so me going to be seen early at the OB was very normal for me, only because I was so used to going to the doctors so much because of how high risk I was, and because of that, I'm already considered high risk with this pregnancy. It is definitely going better than the last pregnancy, but I'm still considered high risk, and they're just watching me carefully. But at this OB appointment, they did an ultrasound along with a lot of blood work and just other testing that they did, and I had a lot of paperwork to do then because it was my first OB appointment. But the ultrasound looked great. The heartbeat of the baby was 175, and the myth that if the heart rate is over 140, it's a girl, and under 140, it's a boy. I thought for the longest time that I was having a boy. And if you've seen my recent videos, you know that we are having a girl, and I will link those down below, but yeah. Let's see. I don't have anything for week 9. The earlier weeks I didn't really have too many symptoms, but week 10 was the week that I went in for blood work to test for the gender and for chromosome abnormalities, which is just like Down syndrome and the trisomies. So we opted to get those tests this time around just because we didn't before. Not that it would have changed anything, but just to have peace of mind, because my anxiety has been terrible this pregnancy. When I say terrible, I will have anxiety about just about anything. It definitely has gotten better since I had the anatomy scan and all of that, but yeah. So we tested for the gender and the chromosomal abnormalities, and everything came back looking great, and that's when we found out that she was a girl. We found out so early, and we haven't even told our parents at that point, so they called me with the genetic results and told me those results, and then they told me that they would put the gender in an envelope for me and I can pick it up. So my husband and I went, and if you've seen my previous video, you saw us opening up the envelope that it was a girl, so that's all we did for that.
You think it's actually a girl?
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, this makes...
Told you.
It is a
Is that
girl!
it? There's no picture?
No. Oh, you can't see it. Gracie's getting a sister.
And let's see, week 11, that was the week that I went to the high-risk doctor for the first time. And this appointment, they just did an ultrasound for genetics and to check and make sure like she didn't have club feet or anything like that. Anything that they were able to check for that early, they checked for. Again, just because I was high risk, they are just being very precautious. Week 14, this week I started getting a lot of pain. And when I say pain, I had a lot of round ligament pain, which is very odd for me because I never had that at all in my first pregnancy, but it was pretty bad. And also my C-section scar, that pain was really bad. This was the week that it started, so it wasn't terrible then, but if you know, I had a C-section in April of this year, or I guess this past year now, but I had a C-section for my daughter Gracie, and I ended up forming a keloid scar. So it's basically where the scar is swollen. The OB told me that it was because I'm a fast healer, evidently. So that is why I have a keloid, but he said that the nerves in the scar and my stomach growing is what is causing the pain. He said that there are things that I can do after I have her, but as of right now, there's really nothing they can do or I can do other than taking Tylenol or just doing that. I thought maybe massaging the scar, because it's really like a bubble-like form. I thought maybe that would help loosen it up, and it didn't. So I really just had to deal with it at that point. Also, I had a little bit of back pain around week 14. Nothing crazy, it just started at this point, but here and there I would get back pain if I'm bending over too much. Yeah, so, and then week 15, I went to the OB, just a regular OB visit, and the baby was measuring perfectly and she was measuring on time. The pain on my C-section scar did get worse this week, and that was why I went to the OB. They wanted to check on the baby and make sure everything was good, but that's where they told me that they can't do anything about it. So I did go to the OB, but there was nothing that they could do. So week 16, I had stomach pain here and there. This week I was really hungry for French fries, and I was specifically hungry for Sonic and McDonald's fries, like the really skinny, thin fries that are really salty. They just sounded so good at this point, so I definitely splurged a few days and got those fries. But other than that, nothing crazy happened at week 16. Week 17, this was the week that we told our families that we were pregnant, and I will link that video down below. It's a really special video and I loved it. But we also told them that she was a girl, so we also did the gender reveal then. We did we popped a balloon, nothing crazy. It was Thanksgiving, so we did have like a Thanksgiving meal, but other than that, that's all we did. But also this week I had pretty sharp stomach pain, and I don't know why. It could have been maybe constipation or something like that, but I did have stomach pain. It did go away after time, after I slept it off. But yeah, around that week it was pretty bad. Week 19, this was the week that I first felt her kicking me. After the first kick, she hasn't stopped. She kicks me all the time now, but I love being reassured that she's in there and she's doing good. Because the first trimester, it's hard because you don't know anything and you don't really have reassurance of that. But with her kicking me, it was just very reassuring that she was good and she was okay in there. Also at week 19, I had my anatomy scan and the fetal echo. So the last time that I was at the high-risk doctor, I talked to the doctor about getting me or letting me take anxiety medicine for this appointment, only because my anxiety is absolutely terrible this pregnancy. If I'm being 100% honest, I had to deal with that a lot this pregnancy, and it's with everything. It's not just pregnancy related, but pregnancy related appointments and everything like that just heightened my anxiety. So I did talk to my doctor and I asked about getting medicine, but he did not really recommend it. He did say that if I really wanted it, he would let me take it, but with that medicine that I would be taking, I probably wouldn't have remembered the anatomy scan, and also he would not have been able to talk to me about the anatomy scan at all after I had it, in the case that there was something wrong. And I just really felt uneasy about that. I mean, I really wanted to take something because me just dealing with my anxiety on its own is fine, but the anatomy scan is just where my anxiety, I knew it would be the absolute worst. But anyway, I did not end up opting in for that medicine. I just dealt with it on my own, and it ended up being okay. My husband came with me and he actually sat in the car because COVID and not being allowed in places. But so the anatomy scan took about a good hour to an hour and a half to get done. The doctor came in and he said that everything looked perfect. She, again, didn't have any club feet. She didn't have any genetic things wrong, a cleft palate. Everything looked perfect. She looked perfect, and it was a relieving day where I just felt so relieved, and my anxiety definitely went down a little bit. After the anatomy scan, like an hour after that, I had the fetal echo with the fetal cardiologist there, and I saw him multiple times whenever I was pregnant with Gracie, and after Gracie was born, that was her cardiologist. And I love them. They were so nice and very good at what they do. And the ultrasound itself, the echo, took probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. So this was a very long day, to say the least. But the echo came back and her heart looked good. He released us from seeing him again unless anything comes up, and he said that maybe he'll want to see her once she's born just to double check and make sure everything's okay. But as of right now, we're in the clear with her heart, so that's a really relieving thing. Also, at this time, my back pain started getting worse. It definitely wasn't as bad at week 19 as it is now. It wasn't constant pain around week 19. It was here and there when I would get up, or like I said, bending down, it would be worse. But around week 20 was the time where it started being constant. I spoke to my doctor and he told me that it's probably a muscular issue. I tried a pregnancy belt thing to hold my stomach, and I tried doing heat compresses, having my husband massage my back. I tried literally everything, and it's still, every single time I get up to walk or if I turn in bed, I'm in excruciating pain, and it's like a shooting pain up my back. My mom thinks that it could be my sciatic nerve, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying just about everything I can to make it better, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to go away anytime. So I'm hoping that it at least subsides a little bit and I don't have this pain when delivering her. But other than that, right now, other than back pain, I would say around week 18 to 19 was the time where I started getting up every single night in the middle of the night to go pee a lot more frequently. I would say 3 or 4 times. It's a lot and it's constant, but that's a normal part of pregnancy. And yeah, so I think that is all I have. Let me see. Some of the other cravings, I guess I can tell you the other cravings I've been having, other than the French fries, which I have been loving, even though they aren't healthy for me. I am eating healthy, I just have to throw some other stuff in there, especially the stuff that I'm wanting to eat. Another thing is ice cream. I was always craving ice cream in my first pregnancy. It was a little much, to be 100% honest. I gained so much weight with my first pregnancy, at least I thought so. And I'm sure it had something to do with the ice cream, because after every dinner I would have ice cream. So it's not that excessive. I will have it maybe once or twice a week, but not very often. And then the other thing that I have always been wanting to eat is strawberries dipped in a fruit dip, a cream cheese fruit. A cream cheese fruit dip. And that has been amazing, and I know it's good for me, so that's a good thing. Okay, so I am going to add in a clip of my bump date right now and show you what my bump looks like today. Okay guys, so this is the bump date. We are currently 23 weeks and I believe 2 or 3 days. We are definitely rounding out a little bit. I am bigger than I was with Gracie, but I don't have any stretch marks yet. Just okay guys, that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down below for me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.